Okay, with section 2.3, we talked first about slope, and now I want to talk about the types of slope. There are 4 types of slope that we're going to look at here. You always read slope from left to right. So I always start over here on the left side, and I always go to the right side of a graph, okay? So as I look at this, as I look at the 4 types of slope, you see you have positive slope, you have negative slope, you have zero slope, and you have undefined slope. So I'm going to show you and kind of explain what the graph looks like. I'm also going to show you what your fraction will look like as well if you actually calculate the slope. Okay, so a positive slope is a line that rises from left to right. So you can think of this as going up the mountain. Okay, so if you start down here on the bottom, starting on the left, you're going up the hill, you're going up the mountain in a positive direction, positive slope. Now, an example of positive slope would be 3/4. It's just a simple positive number. It could be any positive number. Okay, so positive slope. The second type of slope is negative slope. Okay, again, we read from left to right. So I'm going to start at the far left side of the graph. And what's going to happen here is if I start on the far left side, I start high and I come down low. So in other words, the line falls from left to right, or I'm going, here you were going up the mountain, here you're going down the mountain. So I start on the peak of the mountain on the top, and I'm coming down. So this is negative slope. An example of negative slope would be negative 3/4, or it could be 3 over negative 4. Either way would be an acceptable way to write that number. Okay. Zero slope. I compare zero slope to like walking on the floor. If I were walking on this, am I going up? Am I going down? Or am I neither? Well, if I'm walking on this line right here, I'm not going up and I'm not going down. This is a zero slope line or a horizontal line. Okay, now what might that look like? It could be a 0 over any number you want. Let's say 10 for right now. Okay. Anytime 0 is on the top, it's going to be 0 slope. 0 divided by 10 is 0. The fourth type of slope is what we call undefined slope. And you'll notice that this is a vertical line. Okay. I compare this to trying to walk up the wall. Now, I could walk on the floor, no problem, right? I could walk back and forth with no problem. But for this one, undefined slope, I compare this, if I were to ask you to go up to the wall and try and walk up the wall to the ceiling, you wouldn't be able to do it. You need some kind of physical help, okay, in terms of trying to walk up the wall. So this is why it's called undefined, because you can't do it. You can't walk up that wall. Now, what does that number look like from a fraction standpoint? It might look like this, 10 over 0. Part of the reason they call this undefined is because 0 is in the denominator and you cannot divide by 0. Cannot divide a number by 0. That's also part of the reason why they call this undefined slope. So, below in your class kick, I want you to go through and identify what type of slope those lines are, whether it be positive, negative, 0, or undefined. Okay? So make sure you complete that and should be good to go with slope.